Hello and welcome to the show. So regular viewers will know that I am not really a fan of hot hatches. Putting more than 200-230 horsepower in a front wheel drive car is a little bit mental in my opinion. It's asking an awful lot of the front wheels to put all the power down, do all the steering and do most of the braking. So cars like this Astra VXR are, well, rather difficult to drive. I mean, this has got 230 horsepower and a lot of that is wasted in wheel spin and understeer. I'm also not a particular fan of four-wheel drive supercars, this Audi R8 and the Lamborghinis. They're okay cars to drive, they just feel a little bit safe. I want a supercar to be exciting and go sideways when you're stupid with it, but a four-wheel drive car is just almost too easy to drive in my opinion. They also suffer from understeer and that's never a good thing in a supercar. So we have devised a little test to find out what is better, front-wheel drive, rear-wheel drive or four-wheel drive. Now to do this we are going to take a Ford Focus RS. Daniel, this is your one sat on the grid here.
Yep, this is me. This is just the bog standard Focus RS. Now I'm again not a big fan of front-wheel drive, especially when this Focus has got nearer 300 horsepower and through the front wheels that just doesn't work for me. But I've been told to come here and I don't know where Alex is.
And here I am coming in the background, as you can see. I too have a Focus RS. This one again is completely standard, except for it is rear-wheel drive, as I shall demonstrate. Your car can't do that.
No, my car can't. It can do backwards donuts, but it can't do normal ones.
Now, yeah, it does quite good donuts as well for all 300 horsepower. Now, one thing to consider when we're doing this is that there is a significant PI change and weight difference in the two cars. My rear-wheel drive one is 200 or 300 pounds heavier than the front-wheel drive one because it's got to get the power from the front all the way to the back, which makes it lose about 60 PI, I think.
That's quite a lot.
It's a significant amount. Off the line though, and as you would expect, the rear-wheel drive one is a little bit faster. It's not much, it's pretty close. A little bit of crisscrossing there. First corner.
Gone a tad wide.
You're understeering a little bit.
No, well, it's sort of got understeer. The thing with front wheel drive, if you control the understeer, it can work really well for you. But if you're just too eager with the power, or too late on the brakes, as I'm going to demonstrate here, you can't get the power down. It just
I'm going sideways.
Oh, you've got sideways.
Yeah, now another thing to sort of think about here is that these cars are designed to be front-wheel drive, so I'm not quite sure how much of a difference this make. Yeah, it makes, when you convert it, it makes it sort of interesting handling, shall we say.
I suppose it doesn't really help because, converting a front-wheel drive car to a rear-wheel drive, most of the time, well, especially these Focuses, they're quite short wheelbase, which sort of makes it even more leery in a rear-wheel drive, especially rear-wheel drive conversion. I go incredibly wide here.
Yeah, but you do get ahead, and because your car is much lighter, I don't even know where I am. Because your car is much lighter, you again understeer it off there. You have much higher top speed, and after a 3-lap race, you've sort of pulled out a good lead here. I did have a little off, which is why I'm quite a long way back.
A little one.
Yeah, I touched the gravel a tiny bit. But yeah, even I would admit the front-wheel drive one here is far faster. Now, for the second race, I am in the four-wheel drive Focus, the green one here. Daniel, you're still in the stock front-wheel drive one. Now, when we convert the car to four-wheel drive, it gains about 300 pounds in weight again, similar sort to the rear-wheel drive one. However, off the line, I get a huge advantage, about 120 feet, I think, by the first corner.
Yeah. I'm understeering already quite a lot.
It's a lot in a short race like we're doing here, only 3 laps. For some reason, when you convert a car to four-wheel drive, it increases the PI despite the fact it increases the weight. I'm not entirely sure why that is. You get a little bit better drive out of the corner. There's not quite as much understeer as the front-wheel drive one. It's a relatively good handling car, this actually, is four-wheel drive. There's not so much power as to make it constantly understeer like a powerful Lamborghini.
I think it depends. It depends on the car because obviously, if you can manage the understeer on a front-wheel drive car, especially one with as much power as this, it is faster than a four-wheel drive car. But if you're quite aggressive on the throttle, then all-wheel drive is probably the quickest way. But I go off a little bit here.
Yeah, you go off here, and definitely your car is faster in a straight line. But after the 3 laps, I had managed to hold you off, but I think we're still both in agreement that front-wheel drive one is a little bit quicker. So, for the final race, I have gone back to the rear-wheel drive car. However, this time I have lightened it so that it has the same PI as the standard one. I've only used lightened parts. It hasn't done anything to the power or anything to the handling. It's just been made lighter. Now, to make it the same PI as the front-wheel drive one, which I think is around 468, sort of mid-B class, it now weighs £200 less, despite the fact that it's now the same PI, which seemed, again, is a little bit confusing to me. I may have gone slightly skating off in the background there, and now you're going to lock up completely and do some wheel spinning. I don't know what's going on.
That was a big lock up.
That is some massive wheel spin going on there. Now, with this car being relatively lightweight now, it's even more leery than it was earlier. It is relatively tricky to drive, as if this car's not tricky enough as it is. However, because it is lighter, for once I have the faster car in a straight line. I'm quite pleased about that one.
You do, yes. Not by much, but I think initially the stock one for some reason just gets a better drive, whether that's just me or the car, I'm not sure. But then when you get past about 90 or 95, then the rear-wheel drive starts pulling away. But your car is a lot more twitchy in around the corners, especially low speed. Your car is a lot more twitchy.
Yeah, it is.
I go a bit wide.
It's not the easiest car in the world to drive, as we demonstrate here. That was a good timing there, getting very, very sideways. Now, I have to say, this was the closest race we had with all of these cars.
Yes,
I might actually upload the whole replay for this because it was an incredibly good race. I think you're sort of gone now, and I can't do anything about it because this is the final lap. But I think we'd both agree that the lightened rear-wheel drive car is the faster of the two there. Yeah,
it is fast. It's not as easy to drive, but if you've got good car control and you know what you're doing, then it is the faster car.
Yeah. So I think for sort of equal PI, if you're going to pick one, the four-wheel drive system automatically makes it a higher PI, and you can't really get it down. So that's kind of out of it. The rear-wheel drive one is going to be the fastest of the cars when you're looking at setting a car up for a certain PI. It won't be for everyone's driving style. Some people like four-wheel drive. Some people will like a front-wheel drive. You know, you can work with the understeer. But yeah, I think it's very hard to come to a conclusion on this because there's kind of loads of variables that we can't really test.
Yeah.
But I would prefer the rear-wheel drive car.
I prefer rear-wheel drive, yeah.
That's as scientific as we can get on this matter. So
not much more.
No, but that's about it for the episode, guys. So thank you very much for watching, and until next time, goodbye.